back, and I'm going to show you how to make a Spanish classic dish, and that is paella. I'm not going to talk about ingredients when it comes to paella, except for one, and that is the rice. Essentially, paella started off as being peasant food, so you can really add whatever you like to paella. So there's, your imagination is the only limit. The only thing that I would suggest, you can use any rice you like. However, I would suggest you use arborio rice. And arborio is particular because it's milled less than the average rice, which results in it having more starch. And because it has more starch, it gives a more creamy texture and taste to your paella. So I recommend you use arborio rice. And the analogies that I will use will be 2 liquid per 1 rice. So 2 cups of liquid for every 1 cup of rice. If you like it softer than that, you could add a little bit more, but use the 2-to-1 ratio, 2 liquid to 1 cup, 1 rice as a base. So with no further ado, I will show you how to make a chicken vegetable paella. Let the pot to warm up a little bit. You could use a frying pan also, so whatever suits you. This is about 2 tablespoons, maybe a little bit more, 2.5 tablespoons of olive oil. I suggest that you use something that you have a lid for, because I always cover it. It helps the rice get soft. So I'm just going to put this a little bit. Okay. So as I said, this is going to be a vegetable chicken paella. I'm going to start off with my rice. I'm going to start off with my onions, my diced onions. This is 1 medium-sized onion. Now I will add the sliced chicken. Okay, the chicken has cooked for about a minute more, 2 to 3 minutes in total. So it's no longer pink. It's gotten a nice white color. So the next thing I will do is to add the zucchini. I have not added salt yet because I want the vegetables and the chicken to cook, not to boil, and salt makes everything release their liquid. So I'm going to cook this covered for another 2 minutes, and then I will add the salt and pepper. But I will be back with you once the zucchinis have cooked for up 2 to 3 minutes, until they've gotten some color. That is what I'm looking for. They left to cook. And the vegetables, the zucchini now is soft. And it's starting to get some color. I'm not sure if you can see it. So now, okay, so now we're going to add the garlic. And we will stir the garlic in. The smells are absolutely amazing. And now that everything has been cooked for a few minutes, I will add my pepper. You can also add a lot of other spicy condiments to this, depending on your taste, and of course your salt. You will need to salt a little bit because you will put quite a bit of liquid. So, and you'll also add the rice, so it's good to have it, you know, reasonably salted. Okay. So what you do now is we will add this approximately 3 tablespoons of tomato sauce. You could add more. Really, it depends on your preference, on the color that you like to have your paella to have. I will add this and just stir this in. I will add also a pinch of sugar just because of the fact that I added the tomato sauce. Great. The chicken is very, very soft. This is beautiful. Okay. So then what you do, this is 1 cup of arborio rice. It's always important to measure the rice so you know exactly how much liquid to put. Like I said, 1 cup rice, you add 2 cups liquid. That should be perfect, you know, but it's also a matter of personal taste. So what you do is you cook the rice now. So if you need a bit more, always have a little bit of warm water left over to add later. I think that if you have a lid, then you'll be fine because the lid will trap a lot of the vapor and it will help the rice absorb more of the liquid. So we're just going to stir this for a few more seconds. Okay. And then, like I said, 1 cup rice, you have 2 cups liquid. You could put chicken stock, you could put whatever you want. What I do is I usually put 1 cup wine, white wine, and 1 cup water. So here's the 1 cup of wine. It's in here. And the 1 cup of water. I will also add 1 bay leaf. Now, you could add saffron also, which is fantastic. It's very good for you and it's very tasty. However, it's somewhat expensive. If you don't want to add saffron, a more economical but still delicious option is yellow root curcuma. This is excellent. So you could always add this to your sauce, which is also fantastic and gives the color that you want and an amazing smell and taste. So we will stir everything together. Now there's a technique to paella. There's a secret, because paella is fairly straightforward to make. It's always nice, of course, to have the rice cook a little bit before you put the liquid, but the secret has to do with the heat. Now, this liquid is starting to boil, so I'm going to cover this and I'm going to lower this to medium heat. And I'm going to let this boil, and as it gets thicker, I will decrease the heat. I will show you where you need to be in order to decrease it a bit more until you decrease it completely and just let the rice covered absorb the last amount of liquid. This will ensure that the bottom part of the rice never burns, and you need to know that if your bottom part burns, then the burnt smell and the taste of burnt will actually disseminate throughout the rice, so it will ruin your whole paella. So that is the secret to a great paella, is the way in which you use your heat. When the water starts to boil, you decrease the heat to medium, and you let it absorb most of the liquid. And I'll be back to show you what you do next. Okay friends, we're back. This has been left to cook for a few minutes. What I did is after a couple of minutes of boiling, I lifted the cap and I tasted the sauce. And I found that it needed more salt, so I put some more salt and just mixed it up again. So this has been let to boil. Now, as you can see, much of the liquid has been absorbed. So what you do now, but it's still not where we want it to be. So what you do now is you decrease the heat to less than half. You decrease the heat to less than half and let it cook. You cover it up again for maybe a minute or two. Okay friends, a minute has passed, and as you can see, it's almost completely, it's still, fairly moist, but you see that there's no liquid, just a very small amount of liquid in the pot, so it's almost absorbed all the liquid. So what you do then, I have here some fresh parsley that I will mix into the paella. Oh, it smells amazing. Beautiful. And now I turn off the element completely. Now, as you can see, most of this liquid has been absorbed. There's just a bit of liquid inside the rice mixture. So I will let this sit for 10 to 15 minutes. 10 minutes will be fine, but I'm going to let it sit for about 15. And you could actually leave it covered like this for over an hour. So you could actually make something, if you're expecting people over, you could actually make the paella first and leave it on the warm element covered like this and with a towel, and it stays warm for even more than an hour afterwards. So this is just a really nice tip. Hello friends. I let this sit now for about 10 to 12 minutes. So it's time to remove the lid. I'm not sure if you can see how hot it still is. Like I said, you can keep this covered for over 1 hour and it will be perfect. I just want you to show you this. The bottom part, nothing has stuck to the pot, as you can see. And even the bottom part has not burnt. So this is exactly what you want. You play with the heat and you decrease it and you let it sit for 10-15 minutes until it is ready. This looks really nice. I'm going to plate this and I'll be back with you in 2 seconds. This is delicious. You'll have to take my word for it, but this is absolutely amazing. As they say in Spain, que aprovechen. Cheers.